EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. It's all about divisional matchups on this final day of the regular season, and we've got a compelling one in store here, as it'll be the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Carolina Panthers. Ready to get us started, it's Cade York, and off we go from Uptown Charlotte.
こんにちは。
あ、こんにちは。誰だ。
And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. He gets it complete to Harris. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards on the game's opening play. That's probably as simple of a throw as he'll have all game.
And good for everyone. Good for his completion percentage. Good for the receptions for the receivers. But you know how they work on that. They have footballs with no laces. So that as soon as you get the snap, you're just throwing the football, all right? You're not trying to find the laces and grip it a certain way. That takes time. Just get the ball and throw it. So that's how they practice it all the time now, too.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining.
Here we go, set.
On first down, Williams. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. You look at this Carolina defense, and they find themselves just outside the top 10 in the league against the pass, currently bringing up the number 11 spot.
And it's really difficult to prepare for this team. This is the number 1 overall passing team in the NFL, but it shouldn't be hard to get excited about playing against them. The ultimate test going against that unit.
And that's why you and I are excited to broadcast this game.
Yes, sir.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. With these run-pass options, we often talk about a good quarterback and running back. Well, having a talented wide receiver helps also.
Yeah, even coming in 3rd in the discussion, sometimes that means he really should be first, because all you want to do is get the ball in their hands and let them make the big plays downfield.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. The Raven passing game getting in sync, another first down. That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical it'd be this easy, but they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team was capable of.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that's going to bring up second down. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. 2nd and 5. Here's Jackson. Screen play, setting it up for Mitchell. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
First drive of the game. We did see this in practice, didn't we? Because they allowed us to stay and watch and see what their opening script would be, even though we don't know the exact play calls. That looks a lot like what we saw them execute, doesn't it?
It really does. And in practice, it wasn't about a lot of big shots on that opening drive. They wanted to put together a series of plays, sustain it. They've done that. The defense now on their heels a little.
That they are. And you know what else is happening now? They're gaining information. They're gaining knowledge about how the defense is planning on playing them. So not only are they being successful on this drive, they're filing things away for future drives in this game. Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
And he's going to battle his way down right around the 2-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. The impressive opening drive continues, and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
Williams from the gun on 3rd down. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. It's the fullback. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Ravens will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback.
Ready.
A carry by Taylor to start the drive. That's to about the 28. 2nd down coming up. But you look at this defense. They were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
And all defensive teams that I know talk about creating turnovers. Takeaways, they call them. And anytime you can get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really, really good performance. They exceeded that number in a big way.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. To throw, Young. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Ready.
Well, a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17.
Stretch. Stretch.
Young will set to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Neal. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 13, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Sensational he was last week, over 200 yards. And the simple quote that we saw this week was, keep him in front of us. They're going to have to do that.
And when they say that, it means tackling him after the catch. Because once he makes the catch, you may catch it in front. But if you don't tackle him, he's behind you at that point, and that's how he racks up the big yardage.
33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Even though they might not find the number 1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick. Because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they could very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs.
And confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after the last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
Now Williams to throw on 3rd down.
No, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
Here we go.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Hey, check mega. Check pink. Switch yellow. Hunt, hunt.
A give for Taylor running right side. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Red, yellow. Ready.
Young. That's brought in by Davis over the middle. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Here we go.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss.
Clock 10. Ready.
Young quickly to the flat. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 23 yards on the play.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Now a timeout called for by the defense. And my goodness, they're now out of timeouts here in this first quarter.
Ready.
Young to throw it. Touchdown! Jonathan Taylor with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Panthers are an extra point away from evening this one up. Well, we know he has decent hands out of the backfield. That's the first time, Charles, they've targeted him in the passing game, and it pays dividends.
And I love the design, too, because they kept him in the backfield, made the defense think run first before they swung him out of there. And you're right, with his hands, they might want to throw it to him just a little bit more.
Now Cade York for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They had the interception last drive, led to the tying touchdown. So 7-7 the score as they begin. He's got daylight. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 7-7, our score after one. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Williams. Throw left side complete. That's Mitchell. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit. But get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, make someone miss in the open field.
Here's Williams on 1st and 10. And he's got his target, Harris. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
From the 17, here's 2nd and 4. Now they'll audible to something else. Williams now to throw on 2nd down. They'll run the screen with Mitchell. And in for the Ravens touchdown. From 17 yards out. And the Ravens have taken the lead. Extra point splits the uprights. And that makes the score 14-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. After that last score we just saw, now 14-7, so a chance to march down the field here, try to tie this football game. They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Ready.
And that's incomplete.
In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Check smash.
Now Young. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. It's a Carolina first down on a gain of 16.
You want to see a defensive coordinator get upset and throw his headset? This is the kind of play that'll do it. You force 3rd and long. This is almost sort of a give-up play. You're just hoping to get something positive, and it winds up breaking big, and they convert on 3rd down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Young from the shotgun. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. Yeah. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Trouble, 38.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here's Bryce Behringer on now to punt. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 34. Looking to throw. Williams. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Mitchell. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. The Raven passing game getting in sync, another 1st down.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
Williams on 1st down.
That's another one complete to Mitchell.
And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply, if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play. He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
They'll look to throw again. Touchdown! From 4 yards out.
And the Ravens have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 21-7. Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
That throw by Young incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Game clock sitting at 2:02, so they'll get one play before the 2-minute warning.
Hey, go steal.
On 2nd down, it's Taylor.
Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Okay, ready?
They need 18 yards here on third down.
Pause, red. Ready, ready.
Now here's Young.
That is incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Now Williams throwing to start the drive.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
Well, after watching him ring the bell that many times and put the ball in the end zone throwing it, you had to figure they had to bring some type of pressure. They had to change things up on defense.
And able to get to him, put him on the ground, so maybe just something to throw him off a little bit.
Yeah, that had to feel a lot better for the defensive guys. They've been getting carved up in this one. To finally knock him on the ground and force an incompletion, that's got to be a sigh of relief.
13. Hey, middle. Come on.
Now it's Jackson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Hey.
Now Jackson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
To throw again is Jackson. This one complete to Ingram. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. Again, he'll drop to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
Boy, that was lockdown coverage there. He's scanning for someone to come open. But that was great work to blanket everyone. And in the end, he's just got to throw it away.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal.
Back to throw again. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Ravens will extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half.
And they'll be set up with good field position here as he gets this up over the 40-yard line.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get it to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
Let's go now. Ready?
Final play of the half, Young. Now this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Panthers going to get the football first, trailing here as well as we resume play in this second half. No run back here to begin the half, and we will start at the 25-yard line. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Ready.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Ultra.
Throwing, Young. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up 3rd.
Here we go.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Drill green.
Here is Young. He finds his man, complete. That's Neal. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's the Panthers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And just a 30-yard punt that time. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Now Jackson on 1st down. Fires the out route and completes it to Harris. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the Panthers' 46.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Throw left side complete. That's Ingram. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
throwing on first down. Williams. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. It'll be a gain of 5, and that will bring up second down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 20-yard line.
Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance.
And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our second half blowout material. And now an audible here into something else.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Left side, that's caught by Mitchell.
And the Ravens are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
Here's Williams, operating from the gun. Flushed out right. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete.
And down here, 1st and goal, if it's not there, don't force it. You've got at least 2, if not 3 more shots at it. So that's a wise move to get rid of it.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And in for the Ravens, touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown.
And the Ravens are able to stretch out their lead.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll increase their lead to 28. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
2nd down, another run with Taylor.
Powerful running. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 14 yards, good for a Panther 1st down.
Really was at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
On the set.
First and 10, Taylor now.
And he's got room. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Strikers, 3-3. Ultra, go ultra.
They'll run the toss here with Taylor.
And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup.
And the tackle there by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game, and really they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game, and I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has not allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage.
To throw on second down is Young. He finds Taylor, complete. Give him 5 on the screenplay, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle him for just a short gain.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. On 3rd down, here's Taylor. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there. 4th and 3.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. This from 54 yards away. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good, and they will remain well behind. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now, but let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
Williams now throwing on 1st down. Throw left side, got to be taken in by Harris. And he's in for the score, and his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go.
Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto, and so the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
Ready.
They go to the ground again with Taylor. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
Trying a little razzle-dazzle on 3rd and short. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss. But with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
Smash! Smash! Ready?
Young now from the 50. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Young's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. Young quickly to the flat, and he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. And that last throw, CD, going to move him even further up that all-time passing leaderboard as he just moved beyond Broadway Joe Namath at 27,663 yards.
And that's impressive because Joe Namath, my goodness, he could throw a football. I mean, it was just gorgeous the way he threw it. Rallied his Jets to a Super Bowl win, one of the greatest upsets in NFL history. Broadway Joe, the man. There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game, and all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Check Fury. Ready.
Trying to punch it in with Taylor. Past the 20. 5. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Jonathan Taylor. That's his 18th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Panthers get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit.
Well, I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
New York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. He's past the 30. He will score. Touchdown, Ravens. Point after here coming up. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25.
Okay, break.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. This has been frustrating for them to this point. They have not looked the same as they did coming in, riding that impressive 6-game win streak. Young on 1st down. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Ready, break.
Young's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10.
Hey, check mega. Set.
To the right side, this is Taylor. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Here we go. Set.
This offense so far on third down, they've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Ready, ready.
They are in need
Watch
of
out
6
now.
yards
Safety
here if
Fury.
they hope to move the chains. Slot man moves right. And he'll get it here on the touch pass. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Panther first down. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end or the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify, I said getting their wideouts involved in the run game, but of course that was actually a pass as he popped it forward.
Set, cut.
Young looks to throw on first down. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. A good pickup there, a 22. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
And Young's throw there incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Set.
Young's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10.
Black swap. Set, go.
Running left, Taylor. There he goes again, and he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 39 yards, and the Panthers are able to claw one back.
You get in a 2nd and long situation down here in the red zone, I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass, let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Extra point by York is up and good, and that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And it's looking all the more likely that a 5th straight win is going to be in the cards. They'll try to run some time here with a 1st and 10.
And he is out of bounds right around the 34. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
On 1st and 10, Williams. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Yo. Hey, Ozzy, shut up.
They go play action with Jackson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the 1st down sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Operating from the gun, Williams. He's going to air one out, and that's caught inside the 30. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 41 yards.
Now they'll change things up.
That one looks like he'll throw here.
Finding Harris on back-to-back plays.
And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Back to throw. Williams. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference to see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do.
Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early. A bad time for a false start penalty as they're backed up now for 3rd and goal. From the gun, Jackson. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Now for the point after. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately,
laying out is Davis, and he's got the football. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Here we go.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
Shot. 17. Ready.
Young. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Now the Panthers going to signal for their third and final timeout. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside.
On the double.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. It got his man complete. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Extra point by York is up and good. And that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. So despite the huge deficit, they're going to keep fighting. Here comes the onside kick. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Baltimore,
they finish off one of the best regular seasons of all time, 16-1, their final record.
And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for the Panthers,
the loss means they'll finish up the regular season at 10-7.
And it's going to be finger-crossing time as we await the final shakedown of this year's playoff picture. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.